And grateful that every single morning, myself, my team, we get to be able to associate with all these winners on this call consistently here. And I'm just so grateful to be here. Tell you guys really quickly, and I want to talk to us about just being the hero of a story. Right. First off, guys, good morning. I am a broken soul changed by the grace of God and the power of the resurrection. Grateful to be here. I am direct to a man by the name of Marshall Whalen. Really grateful to be so. And I want to tell you guys something really quickly. I played college soccer growing up, and I had one or two things going for me. Right. Number one is I was dumb and I was hungry, and I had a full scholarship when I played. My freshman year, I didn't play a single minute, not a single minute. But I was such an amazing student of the game, and it didn't really phase me. I just put my head down and I worked and I worked and I worked because I knew eventually my time will come. Sophomore year, I get to play all conference. Junior year, I was all conference, all regional. Senior year, this is the year for everything to just click for me. And I had my sights set on All American. Things were going to go so well. Life was going so smooth. And right when the season starts, I'm stripped of captaincy and I'm back on the bench. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me why my coach would be so dumb to put someone like me on the bench. And now my ego is kicking in because I'm telling myself, I'm like, look, guys, I can pick up the phone and I can call 12 Division One coach right now, and then every single one of them will take me. So what do? I pick up the phone and I call my mom. I'm like, hey, mom, getting ready to transfer. And in humbling fashion, she listened to me complain. And then at the end of everything, she goes, well, let me ask you this. Why do you think you're not playing? And I said, Mom, it's all politics. It's all favoritism. And then she said to me, she said, son, let me ask you this. What do you think your coach gets paid to do? And I said, coach. She said, now you know well enough, this is in the YMCA rec league, right? So what does your coach get paid to do? And I said, he gets paid to win. She said, so if your coach gets paid to win, right, why would he play a player who isn't going to give him the best chance to win? I said, that's a very good question. And her response to me was, now, are you the person who is worthy of helping your coach go out there and actually win games every single day? And I said, yes, I am. And she says, no, you're not. Because if you were, you'll be on that field and not calling me here complaining. So she said, what I need you to do now is to actually go out there and become the person worthy of being a starter because you're not transferring. A life lesson from my mom that really stuck with me. And I heard Brian Delaney said this. He said, the principle of success, guys, is universal. The applications are adaptable. So I want to leave you guys with just my little principle of success that I've learned from a high school dropout in my mom that really just resonated with me and is a principle that just sticks with me forever. Number one is this, guys, like we have to decide what it is that we want. What is it that you want here? Because the first step to reducing uncertainty in our future is to decide what future we actually want. And the boldness that's in us isn't something that we're born with. We either choose it or we don't. So that's the first step. We got to decide exactly what it is that we want here. The second thing is this, and this right here is the most important key. You have to know the person you need to become in order to get that goal. Right? You don't need to get sick to get better, guys. So in this business, the way I process it is this. This is prehab, not rehab. This is proactive work to build a mindset daily because our growth will never outpace our personal development. And within that, we have to build the environment that allows us to make sure that we can be that person we need to be, because we are surrounded by the people that are exactly where we want to be as well. See, like Jim, I was teaching our middle school boys here at church, and I had one kid. We were talking about just the power of the resurrection and transformation itself. And one of the kids said something to me that just really struck. Just this 13-year-old kid. He says, like Mr. Joe, when I was saved, I acted differently. I walked differently. I spoke differently. But my environment, he said, my old friends just thought I was a loser. See, our environment as kids originally were made for us. And when we get into this business, because we have so much autonomy in this business, we tend to forget that we have the power to choose who we get to be around. And we get to actually decide the people that we're going to be around. Those are the individuals that are going to help me become the person that I need to be, so that I can continue to walk the way I'm walking, talk the way I'm talking, because we understand that our mental game itself there drives everything in our life. But that mental game is determined by the environmental game. So who do we need to be around? And one of the things I realized that the reason why we stop being around, or the reason why we don't want to be around the winners in this business, is because our ego is too big. But I want to leave us with all of this, guys. Like check your ego. Does your ego weigh more than your bank account? And if it does, we're going to have a real conversation with ourselves. Because the reality is this, like the road to success is often paved by the things that we want. But a lot of the times, what tends to happen is the things that we don't want is what really truly meets us along the way. The third thing is this, guys. Third thing is this: commit. We have to commit to go and achieve the things that we want to achieve, because talent alone can help us achieve what we want to achieve, but success is a characteristic. It's a character within us that helps us maintain it. So we got to address our fear, because there's a reason why we don't choose to step out and demonstrate more courage and address our boldness. And there are things really internally that's holding us back. And a lot of the times, right, we don't want to talk about it. And the reason why we don't want to talk about it is because like fear makes us appear weak. But we can't fix what we're not willing to acknowledge. And the greatest gap, I've heard John Maxwell say this, like the greatest gap in life is the gap between I should and I did. And that gap, he calls that gap, that procrastination gap. And the difference between where we are and the difference between where we want to be is created by the changes that we're actually willing to actually take and make in our lives. And when we want something we never had, we have to do something that we've actually never done to be able to get those things. Otherwise, we're just going to keep getting the same exact results. So that's the third thing. We got to commit. The fourth thing is this, guys. Take MACC, right? Massive action, constant correction, to a whole new level. We have to be a shark at this. See, there are some sharks, guys, whose only way of survival is to keep moving. If that shark stops and swims backwards, it dies. If it stops swimming, it dies. And we have to think like a shark, act like a shark, behave like a shark, and always be moving. We have to test, we have to fail, we have to learn, we have to improve, redo. And the only difference between the winners in this business, guys, and us is the winners lose more than the losers lose. So we have to fail fast, we have to fail often, and we have to fail very well in this business, guys, because adversity itself is what's going to build the character within us if we allow it to be. And it's still a choice for us to actually get back up and say, you know what did I learn? And this is why our environmental game is so important, because those are the people that I can turn back to and say, hey guys, here's what I've done. Here's the results that I got. What do you guys see? Because greatness itself, guys, isn't born the day someone wins. That's just the day that it's recognized. Right? It's built in the dark. It's built when no one is watching. It's built during the early mornings, the late nights, when we're saying yes to discipline and no to comfort. Because at some point, when we're called to the occasion, we're not going to rise to it. We're just going to fall to a level of training. So how are you showing up? How are you doing the work? Are you doing it even when it's hard? Especially when it's hard. And in every single obstacle, there's always an opportunity, right? So instead of looking for the back door, because that's what I used to do in this business when it got tough, is I called Marshall. I'm like, hey, Marshall, man, look, man, this is not working for me, buddy. Where is the exit again? You know what? That exit is too small. Give me like the triple door. Like I want it to be so wide that I can run as fast as I possibly can and take as many people with me as I possibly can. We got to stop looking for the back door and stop searching for a shortcut and face everything that we're facing head on. So don't ask for an easy life. We got to ask for a life that's worthy of our family, worthy of our calling, worthy of our actual potential. Because our deepest hurt, guys, becomes our greatest ministry. Right. Number 5 is this, and I want to leave you guys with this. Remove your time expectation. That's the one that hurt me the most, right? I hate Marshall. Like I success itself that was right there. I mean, what happened to the Bentley I was supposed to have, my 17-bedroom house with the 8-car garage and all the things that I wanted, and it just hasn't gotten here yet. Put an I in the chat for me, guys. Put an I in the chat if you want the life that Jacob Pogue has, that Marshall Whalen has. And then follow. Let me follow this up with this too, right? Put a Y in the chat if you're willing to still want that life, even if it took you 10 years, 15 years, 20 years to get it. See, most of us guys, like most of us have FOPO, FOPO, fear of other people's opinion. And the second thing is, most of us are in a situation where we're not making ourselves the most dangerous person in the room. And the most dangerous person in the room, guys, is a person who has nothing to prove to no one. So guys, life itself, there is our gift to us by God, but how we live it is our gift to God. So how are you living every single day? Because we all have fear, we all have faith inside of us, and both of those things believe in a future that hasn't happened yet. Greg, Denise, Tiffany. But fear itself there keeps us safe, but it also keeps us stuck. Faith stretches us and sets us free. So I want to challenge all of us here, guys, like, let's just show up, even when you're scared. Stretch yourself. Find the people that will stretch you, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, as I mentioned, guys, our deepest hurt becomes our greatest ministry. Love y'all. Back over to you, Jim. Actually, let me end this properly, Jim. As I say, right? As you guys always say in this call before you always leave, that's all I got.
That's all we got. That's all you got. Man, what a good message, Joe. Thank you for delivering that. I hope you get a chance to kind of scroll through these comments and see the impact you made. You know, guys, in this group, we know so deeply that the results that you're going to get in your life and your business are the overflow of the person that you are. So yes, there are some days that we do talk about dialing and scripts and workflow, but more than anything in this group, we are building people so that people can build businesses. That's how I see my role as a leader, is to build people, to speak into people, to help people recognize their value, their worth, their ability, to build the understanding that they are capable, that they are worthy, that they can, and then to show them how. But that how is never going to play itself out until the who gets right. So every day we're on here, and so much of our messaging is talking about building you. That's on purpose. So don't think for 1 second when you're like, I just came here to learn how to do this. That's cool. You will. But it's going to be the overflow of who you are that delivers the results. Not just thinking, because otherwise you're going to build up a big long list of shoulds and not many dids. Thanks for the reminder, Joe. Thanks for the message, brother. All right, I'm going to open up some
Cheers.
breakout rooms.